Starting with the notion that all is law, everything in the universe works according to a law, a scientific law. The sun, the moon, earth, the planets around us, the universe, the birds, the trees, the ocean, the sky, everything is made out of the same molecules and neurons, cellular function, information transmission, energy. So it's all working with the same law. So why us humans, we think we're different? We're not any different. We're part of all this universal law. The core of our cellular functions, the neurons, the transmission of information between one cell to another, is all the same across everything in the universe, including our mind. So understanding that everything in the world is law, including our mind and our thoughts, I can introduce to you the 6 laws of mind power. The 6 laws of mind power are: 1, thoughts are a powerful force. And that means that thoughts have energy. They send information and transmission out into the world and inside into our body. Our cells internally are communicating to each other. And consciousness, the rest of the world, is also communicating with our cells. So thoughts are a powerful force. They are a vibrational energy. The second law of mind power is that our mind is a sending and receiving station for thoughts. So our mind never stops working. It's like a computer. So we're receiving and sending out information all day long through thoughts. And the mind is the station, accepting and rejecting thoughts. Right now, we're not yet rejecting, we're just accepting all the thoughts that come in. We let them consume us and control us. But that's why I'm introducing you to the laws, so we learn how to control that. Understanding that our mind is a sending and receiving station for thoughts all day long. 80,000 thoughts a day, a thought every second. So our mind is a sending and receiving station, and thoughts are a powerful force. First 2 laws. The third law is the law that has been way over commercialized by The Secret, but it's the law of attraction. It's one of the 6 laws of mind power. The law of attraction basically means that emotionalized thoughts magnetize. And what that means is that when we have a thought coming into our mind and we can feel it, we process it into a feeling, we vibrate on it, we send energy, high impulse energy into the rest of our body and our mind gets super excited because energy is like electricity for the brain. It keeps it going. And the mind says, I want more of that. So it attracts more of that same exact energy. So when a thought comes in and we transform it into an emotion, which is energy in motion, then it becomes a feeling. We vibrate on it. We send electrical pulses. Our mind has like fireworks and it says, yes, give me more of that. And it attracts more of that. So that's what emotionalized thoughts magnetize means. That's what the law of attraction means. Now, the mind doesn't know any difference between positive and negative. It just knows electricity. It knows that excitement. So it attracts more of whatever caused that excitement. So if you have a negative thought that came in and you feel it and you vibrate on it, then it attracts more of that negative thought because it thinks it's good. It's providing electricity for the brain. So it keeps getting more. It's like more of that negative. Give me more. It's good. It's good. And that's the magnetizing element. But the same goes for a positive thought. If you feel excited about something, passionate about something, then You vibrate on it, you send electricity, your mind is like more, 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 give me more, and it attracts more of that. That's why we need to observe our thoughts and make sure that before they become feelings, before they become emotions, energy in motion, we know if we want them or not. The next law, which will clarify that, and the fourth law is the law of control. We have the control to accept or reject thoughts. So when the powerful forces come into our sending and receiving station, before we magnetize the thought and make it our future, we can choose if we want to accept that thought or reject it. So that means that if it's a negative thought, if it doesn't make us feel good and we don't need that, it's not a constructive thought, we can release it and let it go. And we can choose a positive thought. So replacing the negative with positive, rejecting negative thoughts, accepting and getting excited over positive thoughts. That's the filter that needs to happen in our station before thoughts come into our mind. So our mind is the station and we are in charge of it. We are in charge of what comes in and out of our mind, what we allow in and what we don't. Negative thought is something that's just temporarily comes in and out. It's just a bad thought. And it's usually about an ending or a consequence that is not of value for us, or it's not constructive. So you identify that it's a negative thought and you reject it. You don't let it in. And if it's in, you pluck it out. So that is the fourth law, the law of control. The fifth law is one of my favorites, but that's because I love imagination, but it's the law of insertion. The law of insertion means that we can insert into our mind new thoughts at any time. So there's techniques to do insertion, and that means that you can actually manifest things in your life that didn't exist yet. Because if you bring in new thoughts that never existed in your mind before, it means that it's something that maybe you haven't experienced yet. So you'll have to visualize it, you'll have to imagine it, and you'll have to vibrate on it and feel it as if it's real right now. But that's one of my favorite laws, the law of insertion, that we can insert into our mind new thoughts at any time. Our mind doesn't know the difference between past, present, and future. If you can insert into your mind through imagination and visualization a vision that you are excited about, and you can make it as powerful as a memory, something that you actually experienced in real life and went through and felt, they are equal in power for the mind. Because the mind doesn't know if it's a memory or if it's your imagination. The mind just accepts it as a thought and a vibration that creates. So that is the law of insertion. The sixth law is going back to our outer and inner world. Our two worlds, the inner and outer world that we live in at the same time. The outer world is life, reality, what happens outside our body. The inner world is our mind, our thoughts, our processing, all of everything that happens, and our emotions. And the sixth law basically says that the two worlds are separated but connected. And they are connected through our thoughts. Our thoughts are the bridge for the two worlds. So we send out, we receive powerful forces of energy, and then we vibrate on them and we send electricity to the brain, which attracts more or less of the same. And we have the ability to control which thoughts we want to vibrate on it and which ones we want to let go of. And we have the ability to create new vibrations and thoughts that don't exist yet through manifestation. So those are the 6 laws. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe below, and I can't wait to see you again.